Good afternoon, everyone. We are tracking developing news south of Mission. Right now, federal and state authorities are on high alert. They exchanged gunfire with drug runners across the river earlier today. Channel 5's Polo Sandoval is live at the scene with all the details. Polo.
Well, Dina, this is a situation that's still very fluid and continues to develop here at Chimney Park, just south of Mission. I want to show you what we've seen here so far. We're seeing a massive effort underway right now by Texas Rangers, Texas Parks and Wildlife, and also U.S. Border Patrol agents. I can personally tell you this is one of the largest presence that I've ever seen here at Chimney Park. You see their authorities heavily armed right now at the river's edge here, just south of the levee in Mission at Chimney Park. I want to tell you exactly what led authorities to this massive effort earlier today. It all started when authorities on the U.S. side of the border spotted a suspicious vehicle on the U.S. side of the river. Well, they then saw what appeared to be several drug cartel recovery boats on the Mexican side. They approached them. At one point, that's when they started exchanging fire. We can tell you 3 people were wounded on the Mexican side. The folks that we're talking to here on the ground do confirm that they did spot at least 3 people that were injured on the Mexican side, 3 drug smugglers. And then at one point, that's when everything had unfolded at about 6 o'clock this morning. Authorities then came back into the back towards the U.S. shore, rather, and that's when they started piecing the whole investigation together. We can tell you right now that this information is just coming into the Channel 5 newsroom right now, and of course here on scene at Chimney Park. But we can tell you, again, a heavy presence right now at Chimney Park, boats on the water. Interesting thing to note, though, we have seen several folks that live around here that have come out to take a quick peek, even some folks that even went onto the water itself for an afternoon fishing trip. Of course, this is heavy on the minds of the civilians that are living here just south of Mission, as again, authorities from the U.S. side exchanged gunfire with folks in Mexico. We can confirm 3 drug smugglers were injured on the Mexican side. One last thing to note is also got to speak to some of the DPS officials that are here. They do tell us that they're in contact with Mexican authorities, trying to let them know exactly what happened out here today. So it's a multi-agency, bi-national effort underway here just south of Mission. We'll continue to get information from folks here on the ground. We'll get you another update here on Channel 5 News at noon. Dina, that's the latest. Back to you.
And the tense security situation along the border taking center stage today on Capitol Hill. Members of Congress are concerned about corruption within the ranks of Customs and Border Protection. Channel 5's Jordan Williams listened in on a hearing on the Hill. He's live with the very latest. Jordan.
Dina, good afternoon. The Commissioner for U.S. Customs and Border Protection told members of a U.S. Senate panel that the threat is real. He's worried about the drug cartels infiltrating CBP and going after the men and women charged with protecting our border. Commissioner Alan Burson testified today before members of the Senate subcommittee. The Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General joined him. They told the senators that the cartels are targeting CBP agents and officers. The commissioner admits his employees on the front lines are very vulnerable to drug smugglers who want easy access to land like ours right along the border.
We recognize that there are bad apples in the barrel, and it is our job to minimize those, and it is our job to prevent corruption, detect it when it happens, prosecute it after investigating it. Since 2004, in October, 127 CBP personnel have been arrested, charged, or convicted of corruption. This breach of trust is something that we do not stand for.
And members of the Senate committee grilled Commissioner Burson about what's being done to confront the trouble. The feds have seen a spike in the number of their internal investigations into the trouble within CBP. A lot of those investigations are being handled under the government's Anti-Border Protection Act of 2010. We're going to have more on the fight to root out the corruption within CBP later today right here on Channel 5 News. For now in the studio, I'm Jordan Williams, Channel 5 News at noon.
Border security expected to take center stage on Capitol Hill today. A Senate subcommittee will meet this morning to look at attempts to corrupt Customs and Border Protection and other border agencies. Meanwhile, state lawmakers are talking about spillover violence. Surrounded by border sheriffs yesterday, Congressman Francisco Canseco said he was concerned about what's happening on the other side of the border. Canseco filed a bill last week that would create a federal definition of the term crossover or spillover violence. Donald Ray is the executive director of the Border Sheriffs Coalition. He says the bill will better document border violence.
We're very proud that this is a bill that holds us all accountable as we should be held.
If it's safe, then fine. If it's not safe, then let's make sure that we're doing the right thing and employing the right resources for taking care of United States citizens.
Canseco hopes to force the federal government to correctly measure the border problems. He says his focus is on protecting the lives and property of Americans.